talking about that, since you had booked the Jones to perform in your venue, I know it's been a lot of other artists that have been performing there. What
Hmm.
was like one of your biggest artists you ever got to have on your platform on your venue?
At my venue, are you talking at my venue or the current venue?
The
River.
current your venue completely.
So my old venue was Jones and ISO and Cash,
Right, right.
um,
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
um, the new venue is Terminology. We just had Terminology come out, and that was our that was our biggest one so far.
I had the
So
Jones.
yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
sure
Oh yeah,
I know
what's
man,
you
that?
put some
definitely.
stomping groundwork over there. I know you put some work over there. You had the
Oh
Jones.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely, man. I had my first headlining show at River too, man, which was dope. That
Salute
shit
to
was
that.
pretty
Yeah,
dope.
that was a big one. That was a big night. That was the
Yeah.
same night with was that the night with ISO and Cash too?
No, no, no. Well,
No, that
remember
wasn't. You're right. That was no, you're right. That
you
wasn't.
put,
That was your headlining night.
yeah, yeah, my headline night at River was pretty dope too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
terminology.
we've had some. I know a lot of dope artists is the thing. You know what I mean? But the thing is like the ones that have been rocking with me are the ones that I've been like really focusing on trying to give more than anything a platform for them to be able to do it because they've been rocking and staying loyal to me. They've been through the struggle. Um, I don't have to question, their loyalty and if they're gonna leave me high and dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
If that
How
makes
did that
sense.
come? Justice Ron, real quick, before I let the Jones go. How did that come about? You and terminology. How did you get in contact with him?
Um, I mean, I've always talked the term back and forth, but as far as doing the getting him for the venue, I had already known that I like in my head I was like the moment I'm able to bring somebody out, and we were able to do this, and we have some funds with the business. That's who I'm going to suggest for us to bring out, and I hit him up ahead of time, and just was like, "Yo, this is what I'd like to do. I really want you to come out and be our first headliner." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm with that." Um, but it just it kind of just came because he wanted to come out here, and he comes out to Denver a lot. He's always out here in Denver. So it was like without a question to have him, actually be out here and be our actual first headliner for the place. You know what I mean? As a true headliner for our spot.
Oh, that's dope, man. That's it. As far as like with the whole terminology show, yeah, I was there, but just for the people who don't know, that's it. That's it. How was the actual turnout of the show?
Um, you know, Here's what I'm going to say. The turnout was great in the sense that people that showed up were supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
point blank, they were. It was a good vibe. Um, the thing that where we had some hiccups was we kind of started late on our promo. We kind of started late on our. We actually started too late on our ticket sales. Um, so we didn't do as great as we wanted to, but that was, I mean, it wasn't a failure because at the end of the night, and at the end of the day, I'm sorry, after the event was said and done, we, if you weren't there, you missed you missed a huge opportunity to really just catch a vibe with terminology and talk with him because DJ Deadeyes and my man K9s that came from Boston, they were there actually vibing out with everybody, talking with people. You could take pictures with him if you wanted. You could smoke with him. You know, he was drinking. Like, Term's a real motherfucker, you know what I mean? If you don't, like, if you've never had the chance to meet him or talk with him, like, he's a real motherfucker. Like, he's not a superstar in the sense, and he could be, but he's not. He literally is just, you could talk with him. And Jones, you can attest to that. You were vibing out with all of us there. You were, you know, you felt the vibe.
Yeah, man, definitely some humble people, man. Like, for real, he had a nice, he had a nice team with him, and the dudes that was performing with him on the show was actually dope too.
K9
Yeah.
is one of his new artists, and you know, he and a good homie of his. So, yeah.
That's good to know, man.
Yeah,
That's what's
definitely.
up, man. Definitely is always good to know you stay connected with good peoples. I know the Jones is around that. So that's awesome to know, two great people working together. But I want to talk about this cathedral though. Let's talk
Yeah.
about cathedral. What people if people don't understand what I mean or what I'm saying when I say cathedral, it's a new project that Justice Rhyme just dropped. I got the honor to be on it, and a few others got the honor to be on it. Now, I definitely want to get into having that conversation about your new project that you just dropped on
Hmm.
Spotify, or should I say all platforms? Let me just put it out there like that for the peoples. So y'all make sure y'all go
Yep.
ahead and follow Justice Rhymes. I will have all his link and all that in the description. But let's talk about Cathedral. Now,
Yeah.
what was your idea into going to do Cathedral, which is a new music project you got out?
Um, you know, every album I do is concept based. It's just, you know, growing up off of good '90s albums and music, hip hop especially. I feel like everything kind of had a theme to it. You know what I mean? And so I'm heavily always into like that, having a concept based album, not just having an album where I'm just putting a bunch of stuff out. I like the concept base. It lets me run through it, lets me feel it all the way through, and I feel like at the end of the day, giving people a movie in the sense, and I really was more motivated off of doing it that way going forward, based off of listening to Kendrick Lamar's "Good Kid, Mad City" album. After I listened to that, like literally religiously back to back, just not just because it was a fucking dope ass project, but because, you know, from the production to the lyricism to the construction of each joint all the way through, it was like I was watching a movie through my ears. And after I heard that, it was like going forward, if I was going to put out any music, I really wanted to only put out music that was going to remind me personally that I put out a movie each time. You know what I mean? Musically. And
Right.
so Cathedral is just the the pure definition and album for me in that sense, because it's my 8th studio project, done really my 7th one done purely by me. Um, so this one, Cathedral, just came in the sense that the concept the concept stands for, when you're in a cathedral, it's a place of peace. It's a place of prayer. It's a place of, you know, where you feel safe. It's a place of where you can fully, you know, it's supposed to be your place, your temple, right?
Correct.
You go to a cathedral because of its beauty, because not just because of the beauty of that place, but because of what you know it stands for each individual person, because it's different for each individual person. So Cathedral, in the sense for me musically, was like my place of, it was my cathedral of music. It was my place of making music. It was, you know, you got from the very first track, all the way to the very last track means something. There's something in it. If it was Praying on Me, that's because it literally, at that point of doing that song, was because I felt this type of animosity from people,
Real
whether it
quick.
was my own people or, go ahead.
Yeah. Nah, real quick. You talk about number 5, Future in Contrast, all right? Correct?
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, it's just, if you're talking like what's the concept? If you listen to the songs, every one of those songs has something that has to do with it. You know what I mean? Church is Revisited. That was the second joint on the album. Right after Cathedral, the intro with you, it jumped to Church. And Church purely is, yo, I'm taking you to church. Like you're about to get this
This
sermon.
lesson.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're about to get this
You're
lesson.
coming in for a sermon.
Right. You're about to catch these lessons.
Exactly. So, that's where Cathedral came from. This album is basically my way of finally saying it's my final album, not my final album, my final album of full definition of, yo, this is who you're dealing with. This is what I'm bringing to the table. This is how I write. You know what I mean? This is my Cathedral.
You feel like this is your project for the future life, in other words.
Yeah, it stands for a lot for me at this point. I mean, you know me, man, I'm always cooking, so like, and the problem is like, I'm cooking right now because I just can't stop. I got too much good shit coming out. But it's also taking the time to resonate in what I just did and take the time to promo that and, put that out. But this is a project that I feel like, out of all my music, I'm a fan of a lot. It's hard to be a fan of my music for myself because I'm such a critic. Everybody's their own worst critic. But with this project, man, I really, really feel good about it. I feel like from down to all the features, the concepts for each track and the concept for the album, I feel really strong about. So now it was just major fuel for me to start working on something again, you know what I mean? Some new stuff.
Yes.